Hey guys, today is a very special day. I am going to be recapping the premiere episode of Drag Race Season 17, Squirrel Games. This might be one of my favorite US season openers ever. It gave me early season vibes with the inclusion of so many past queens like Angeria, Kerry Colby, Trinity the Tuck, Porkchop, etc. Right off the bat, the 14 new queens are thrown into the Squirrel Games, which is a play on Squid Games. Side note, I'm currently watching season 2, loving it, very timely. And they have to play a game of Rue Light, Green Light. They must dance their way to the finish line, and whenever giant Lil Pound Cake turns around, they need to strike a pose. If they are still moving, they will be exterminated via a pie to the face. Porkchop was out first, very poetic. This was so fun and a great way to usher in a new cast. We are then transported to the workroom where the queens make their entrances one by one. I gave my top 2 to Arietti's entrance look. It's punk meets Alf meets Edge. I'm obsessed and I'm so glad I put her in my top 3. Speaking of entrances, we had all 14 queens enter, which let us know that this was not going to be a split premiere. I'm actually glad about this. I like having them all together, but let me know what you prefer. What really struck me about the premiere episode, and especially the cast, is that this is a really strong group of queens. And by strong, I mean personalities. There are lots of competitive queens. There are lots of opportunities for drama here. They were already shading Hormona Lisa for being handpicked by Rue. Corey especially was not living for Hormona. There are rivalries being set up, and even an alliance has already been formed by Lana Geray and Arietti. Now this is interesting because both of their drag mothers were in season 15. So at that moment, Rue enters the workroom for the very first time this season and announces that Lana Geray actually won the mini challenge. A mini challenge that they didn't even know they were participating in. It was a snap candid photo shoot during the Squirrel Games, and she definitely stood out the most, so I agree. Rue also announces that the Raider Queen twist is back. For the very first Maxi Challenge, 7 queens will be performing in the talent show, whilst the rest of them watch and will be rating them. In next week's episode, the remaining queens will perform, and the queens that performed in the first week will be watching and rating them. Oh, and you wanted a twist, hey, because it's not over. The queens need to decide amongst themselves who will perform in which talent show, week 1 or week 2. Joella specifically wants to be in week 1 because she's a Katy cat, and Katy Perry is the big guest judge for the premiere. It's a bit of a struggle, but they managed to sort it out. Keep in mind that Rate a Queen is a very strategic game, and they thought strategically when it came to week 1 and week 2. For example, Hormona knows that Corey King is not living for her, therefore she wants to compete on the same week as her so that she's not rated last by Corey. Very smart. To further the gags, who should enter the workroom but one Miss Catherine Hudson herself? Katy immediately recognizes Joella, which was very cute. After she leaves, Joella is very emotional because this is a big full circle moment for her. So on the brand new stage this evening, we have RuPaul, Michelle Visage, Carson Kressley, and Katy Perry. Category is Masked for Masked Singer, and I gave my top 2 to Jules Sparkles. It was giving Venetian Carnival, and you guys know that I love the color blue. I love how her mask turned into a fan. Like, that's how you do it. That's how you do a premiere episode. So it's time for Drag Queen's Got Talent, and first up we have Jules Sparkles. Side note, she's already becoming one of my favorite queens this season. Let me tell you, you would not know the bitch had a bionic spine, because she ate down. I choose to take her Rue Do You Even Know Spanish line as a major read. I was living. Next up is Arietti, and she gives a Spanish dance performance. It was a little one note, but she looked absolutely beautiful, and I really hope that Michelle Visage doesn't try to change her makeup. I love her makeup. Let elves be elves, damn it. Following her is Lydia B. Collins doing a puppet show / burlesque number. It was so weird and strange, but I found her very entertaining. Then we had Lucky Stars making lemonade. I was like, oh no, don't do an ice water moment, but it wasn't that. It was much more entertaining and dynamic. I love this. I do think it gave me Burger Finger vibes from season 16. I kind of feel like the girls know by now what works to make Rue laugh. Rue likes silly, and this was silly, but hey, you don't got to reinvent the wheel. Then we had Joella performing to an original track. She brought the energy, but I wasn't really living for what she was wearing. I think Katy Perry said something to that effect as well. Up next is Acacia doing a live country performance. She's very talented, but as we know, actual talents on a talent show in Drag Race, they don't tend to get the kudos they deserve. I thought this was clever, and she sang a lot better than I ever could. And last up, we have Susie Toot doing a tap dancing number. And let me tell you, this was my favorite performance of the night. It was so clever how she did the Gettysburg Address thing in Morse code. Rue ended up using that joke later on as well. This was a talent. This was entertaining. This was clever and intelligent. To me, this is the best performance of the week. So the judges give their brief deliberations between one another, but it's the queens who have all the power. They rate their sisters, and honestly, it seemed like they were pretty fair. I don't think that Corey King did the whole Plain Jane Nymphia Wint thing. She put Acacia last, which, okay, I kind of get it. And to me, it made sense for Lana to stick to her alliance with Arrietty. Back on the main stage, Acacia Forgot is told that she was rated last, therefore she will be lip syncing in next week's Lip Sync for Your Life. I felt really bad for Acacia. To me, she showed an actual talent, and knowing that you're going to be lip syncing a week in advance is kind of rough. Jules Sparkles and Susie Toot are made the top 2 of the week, and they lip sync to Woman's World by Katy Perry. This song was a choice. They had so many Katy Perry bangers to choose from, and they went with Woman's World. At first, it seemed like Susie Toot was being outperformed by Jules, but then she demands that Rue looks at her feet and it's all over. Much respect. She does a Charleston shuffle and somehow it fits the song perfectly. This earns her her very first win for the season, and I agree, very well deserved. This is a strong start for Susie, but I do worry based on some of the comments I'm already seeing, especially from the judges, that they are not living for her makeup. I do wonder if she's going to switch up her makeup because they're going to keep harping on about it. I don't know. I kind of feel bad for Susie. They don't seem to like her stamp as it is. So my friends, what did you think of the very first episode of Drag Race Season 17? I can't say I disagree with the choices because the judges had no influence this episode except who won the lip sync. I'm excited to see next week's group. I really like that Susie was an unexpected heavy hitter. I would not have picked her to win the first challenge of the season. And that's no shade, she just doesn't have as strong a personality as someone like Jules Sparkles. I am so in love with Jules already. I love Arrietty. I'm living for Lydia. I want to know all your thoughts. Who are your early season favorites? Who do you think's going to win? I want to know that. Who do you think's actually going to win this entire season based off of one episode? I know it's hard to say, especially because we haven't seen the other talent show, but who do you think is getting that winner's edit right off the bat? I actually think that Lexi Love is going to win this whole season. I don't know why. I just get the feeling it's going to be Lexi's season. But let me know what you guys thought, and I'll be back very soon with another video.